my new to me truck, a GMC W4500 with a 4-cylinder diesel engine, 370,000 kilometers, 190 horsepower, except it's not a GMC. It's a ISUZU NPR, manufactured under license in North America by GMC. So the label on the motor says ISUZU for HK1. But if you look that up and find somebody to fix it, you might as well just punch in Duramax, because that's what it's called in North America. I bought it for $10,000. It had bad injectors. Fuel injectors are bad. And it was sold to me as is from the dealer. So I went back a couple of weeks later to pick it up, and we found out that the head gasket was blown. So he offered to buy the truck back for $10,000, or he offered to give me $4,000 to deal with the head gasket. So the truck would be $6,000. So I took the $4,000 cash back. I figure it was better to deal with the devil I know than the devil I don't know, going out looking for another truck if I could find one at that price, because I didn't have any more cash than that anyway. And I still figured I could put together a nice little truck. I mean, putting $14,000 into this truck would be a hell of a truck. I don't think it's going to take that much. That would be a lot of upgrades. That would be really... I think I'll put it together probably for about $15,000 total. So these trucks sell for over $20,000. Even now they're hard to find, especially if they're running and freshened up. So it's an investment. I won't lose money on it. Even if I spend $20,000, I won't lose money on it. It's a commercial vehicle, durable. Guys buy these because they make money. They run and they make money. It's registered as a commercial vehicle, and it was a leased vehicle. So a commercial vehicle goes in for inspection every year, so you know that things are fairly well kept up. You can't get away with much on the inspection. And it was a lease vehicle, so that's even better, because if you don't keep up on your lease maintenance, you pay a big penalty. So two good things going for it. So now I've decided to pull the engine, so I'm just labeling everything. I haven't pulled an engine since the 90s, and way back then everything was mechanical linkages. Now everything is fly-by-wire, so there's no throttle linkage, there's no choke linkages, there's no push-pull things. It's all electronic. Computer takes care of everything. The throttle's connected by wires. Everything's connected electronically. And I think it only goes together one way, but I thought it best if I label everything first, so that I can't put it together wrong. Going to document everything, take lots of pictures, so I know how everything is routed. The labeler I'm using is pretty fancy. I do a lot of labeling, so I bought that for myself. But I would suggest, if you had to label things, just get yourself a Sharpie and some white electrical tape, and those labels will last a really long time. I know some people use masking tape and stuff, but the vinyl electrical tape and a Sharpie, that's a durable, cheap alternative to my expensive labeler. My labeler that I'm using does not have ink. A laser burns the the writing into the film, and the writing's actually underneath the top layer of film. So these labels are used everywhere in the industry. They last forever. So I rented a parking spot in a yard across the street from the shop where I work. So I have access to a forklift, or if I need to get rid of some used oil or stuff, I could just run back to our shop. I get off work, I can go tinker on it. So good flexibility there for me. I think I paid $150 a month for the spot across the street from our shop. So preparing to pull the engine. I know that the head gasket's blown, and it seems unreasonable to do that big job like that in there, so I'm just pulling the engine, which turned out to be a mistake, and I'll explain further on in the video why that is. Yeah, take lots of pictures. An advantage over the last time I did this back in the 90s, everything was by memory. So that's part one of the video, a little idea of what I'm up to. There's 3 more parts coming, and we'll just go from there. I put everything in little bags, labeled the bags so I know which components they're from. These are from the shroud on the back of the cab, which is the only bolt I broke in the whole process.